Long time no see.
Hey.
Welcome back to the Just Bros podcast.
We've been wanting to do something for a while, especially with our caribou hunt finally coming around the corner. All right, this is my my new rifle. It's in 6.5 PRC. I got it built from Omega Precision here in Gillette, Wyoming. It's got a proof barrel, 20-inch proof barrel, and it's been a pleasure to shoot. Shooting it off of a Peak 44 tripod, and this is what I'm going to take up to Alaska for caribou. Able to hit steel at 500 yards pretty consistently off of a tripod. Shooting good groups. Last weekend took it out to 935 yards. Was able to hit on my second shot, and yeah, so this is going to be the gun of choice. It just locks in with the ARCA Swiss. This is a Salmon River base here. Let me see, and it just goes in to the bottom of the rifle. Locks in. It's got a little pick rail on if you want to throw a bipod in other circumstances, but pretty slick. You pop it in, you tighten it down, you get in your shooting position, and you use this pan head to get you where you want, lock it in, and you're on target. One more. And so, just a little recap of the week. John came out to visit in Wyoming, and we just spent the last couple hours stomping around and sighting a couple new rifles.
Yeah, so been needing to do some more shooting. So came out here with the fam for vacation and wanted to get out on some of this public land and do some shooting because you can shoot as far as you can see, basically.
Kind of nice.
Yeah. Got a new rifle, courtesy of Andrew here.
Tell them what you built. What we get.
So my rifle for this caribou hunt is going to be a 26-inch 7 PRC, shooting the 175 grain ELDX bullets. It is built on an Omega firearm, Omega Precision Action, which I believe is a Macros proof carbon barrel, Thunderbeast Ultra 5, and a Caribou Phoenix 2 stock, and a Trigger Tech primary. So slapped a Razor LHT 4.5 to 22 on there that I pulled off another rifle. Got out there and we got her sighted in 50 yards. Fourth shot was, I would call it a perfect bullseye.
Yep.
And kind of
Sighting at 50 is a lot easier than 100 when you're getting older and you don't want to run as much. That's for sure.
it helps, and depending on what you're doing with the rifle, I think 50 is a good zero, because here I zeroed at 50, and with the data I got thanks to the Garmin Zero chronograph, I was basically half MOA high at 215 for being zeroed at 50. So it's a great hunting zero. Being on at about 50 and 200-ish, it really extends your max point blank range.
Yeah.
What are you shooting?
Same builder, Omega Precision. Peter's been building some guns for the Wyoming Sportsman's Group banquet, and you know, as we support that Wyoming Sportsman's Group, you get the certificate for a custom gun with Peter. And man, these things are shooters. They're shooting double holes at 50, and then within a half an hour on the same day, first day ever shooting this rifle. Took it out to 935 yards and hit steel on my second shot on a 10 by 12 inch steel plate. So can't complain, that's for sure.
Not at all. And that was, I will add, 935 yards off of a tripod seating.
Yeah, it was my first time shooting off of a tripod. I bought a Peak 44 out of Sheridan, Wyoming, one of B's sister companies, and picked it up a couple weeks ago with anticipating trying it for this hunt. Not completely sold on it until today. Actually, having hit it on my second shot at 935 with a new rifle with a little bit of wind was a surprise to me. So I think it's the rifle I'm going to be taking. It's between that and my 7 PRC. We got plenty of oomph with the 6.5 PRC. And anyways, I think it's for the ground we're going to be hunting. It'll be difficult to go prone. The barren ground in northern Brooks Range is fairly challenging to have a prone shot. At least you can't bank on it. So I'm planning on taking this tripod anyways. And I think taking the tripod, having a gun you can shoot off the tripod, this one's built for it. I think this is what I'm going to take. So.
That Salmon River Solutions.
Yeah, that was a game changer.
That
for me.
long hunter ARCA rail from them was it made it up perfectly with the Caribou Phoenix 2.
Yeah, we'll show you that on the gun right here, and we'll keep talking about it. But basically, it has an ARCA and pick on it, and you can slide the ARCA to the forehand of the stock as far as you want, or have it closer to the mag well. It's pretty slick. You feel very confident shooting behind a tripod at that distance. Still, though, lots of variables to consider, and you want to try to get as close as you can. But with being on my second shot hitting steel, I think it's reasonable that a 700-yard shot is pretty reasonable with how it all is set up. So.
Yeah, I agree. And we did some shooting at 500, and it was, bang, bang, bang on the steel. It was as easy as it can be shooting at that distance.
Knocked our target down a couple times.
Yeah, 7 knocked the target down, 6 knocked the target down. I punched a hole through some steel. I guess you.
Yeah, I didn't know what that steel's made of. Or
Sounds like
how tough it was.
Someone
we found out the hard way.
Made some steel targets out of mild steel, and the 6.5 PRC will put a 6.5 plus millimeter hole through it at 220 yards apparently.
Yeah, the Precision Hunter, not even like full metal jacket or anything, just Precision Hunter from Hornady. Well, we're getting prepared for this this caribou hunt in Alaska, and it's been in the distant future for 6 years, and now we're less than 6 weeks away. We're 4 weeks away from flying out and making the long drive up Dalton Highway.
Pretty surreal. I can't believe we're out here, getting some positional practice for shooting out there. But I have to say, being able to sit down and shoot off a tripod, whether you're using an ARCA mount like you had, or using a tack table with a bag like I had. Check out the Rusty Nuts Designs cheap ass tack table if you need a cheap tack table.
Very shameless, easy to use.
Shameless plug. But super sturdy, sitting 500 yards. It was very, very simple. So I'm comfortable to 500-600 yards if I need to take a shot that far out there. I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to get in a little closer than that.
The confidence, yeah, I think so. The confidence level on that tack table, though, at 500 was kind of ridiculous. It's not. I'm pretty big on trying to get as close as you can, have a good hunt. Sometimes those shots, are going to creep out there close to 500 yards, and having the most confidence you can to make the most ethical shot, super critical. Nobody wants to wound anything. Nobody wants to be irresponsible. So, taking advantage of the cheap-ass tactical table, tripod, but you got to practice. And anyways, I'm pretty impressed with that tack table. That
benefit of that is you don't need ARCA, you don't need to pick, you just throw anybody's rifle at any point in time on there and you're solid as a rock.
Yeah, I think for the trip, because I don't know what anyone else has taken and I have the stuff, I'm gonna toss one of these tack tables in the mill, try and lightweight it, I will say, mill off as much material as I'm comfortable with, pocketing it and whatnot, and then I'm gonna get some ultralight fill for a bag that'll mount to that and take that along. That way any of the guys that are with us can toss their rifle up there and make the shot with confidence at whatever distance they're comfortable shooting. You know, it's a very sturdy, solid setup that can be used with any rifle.
Yeah, what's one of the things that you learned about preparing for this trip that has been the biggest impact in how you're going to hunt moving forward, I guess?
Well, there's a couple things for me that I've learned big time this trip is technical hunts require a decent amount of technical gear, but not a ton of technical gear. I don't have a ton of the technical gear for this type of hunt, but a lot of what I do have is gonna make it do just fine, I believe. And then one of the other things, I don't know that this will help me in future hunts how much, but just the whole logistics planning of this has been a lot. I mean, I've spent more time.
It's like the first time we've done something like this, so having never booked a hunt outside of the state you live in or more than a state away requires a lot of communication with the transporter and with the whole group. There'll be 5 people in our party. Lots of people with lots of questions and trying to bring as much gear as we need, but not overkill. That's I think the biggest thing.
Yeah,
we're still working on it, but
that is going to be a big thing. I was worried about at least my gear payload, I will call it, but after going through my list, weighing a bunch of stuff, everything basically, I think I'm going to be pretty darn good weight-wise, at least for our flights in. It's just kind of going to be, how do I package this out for flying Alaska Airlines up there so I don't hit 17 different baggage fees for oversized, overweight, too many. So it's going to be kind of a Tetris type situation on how we're going to get it all up there. But I think like some of the stuff like the Cabela's guide tent, I think I'm just going to FedEx that to FedEx location up in Fairbanks and pick it up when we get there.
that would be good.
But it's like Andrew said, long time coming. Super pumped for it, and
We want to do a couple reviews on the equipment that we've got for the trip, so stay tuned for that. Definitely going to highlight the rifle, going to highlight the tripod that we'll be taking from Peak 44, and any other gear we find to be just a good find or worth the money. Tried hard to do our research beforehand, but we're going to find out and test it out in the field.
yeah,
Give ourselves a little more credibility with the using of it. But so far, it's kind of been fun. We've been chipping away at getting some equipment over the last couple of years as we've prepaid for this, and now it's finally here.
yeah. I think I'm planning on doing a little before. I'm going to do some recording before and then recording after, so I can see if my before sentiment holds true to after the trip on some of this gear. But thanks for tuning in.